Okay, so you ready to dive into another one?
Absolutely. Always ready for a deep dive. Where are we headed this time?
Well, it's actually something you flagged in your notes. Remember the law of adaptability?
Oh, yeah, right. That's a big one for sure.
It is. And it's all about, well, being able to shift and change. I mean, it's like the key to success these days, don't you think? Especially with everything changing so fast.
Totally. And it's not just reacting to change when it smacks you in the face.
Right.
It's more about like seeing it coming and actually using it.
Ooh, okay, I like that. So like riding the wave instead of getting like totally wiped out fast.
Exactly. You got it.
Okay, so you're all about self-improvement, right? So I'm thinking you must be seeing a lot of changes happening in your field too.
Oh, absolutely.
So like what comes to mind first?
Well, I mean, AI is just exploding everywhere, right? And then you've got customer demands changing like every 5 minutes. It's wild out there.
It really is. I feel it too. It's like you can't just sit still anymore.
Yeah.
Nope. You got to adapt or get left behind. And actually, the notes you sent really hits on this. It says, and I quote, "Those who resist change struggle. Those who embrace it thrive." It's pretty powerful.
No, that's totally true. Okay, but okay, how? How do you actually embrace change? Because sometimes, honestly, it feels scary, right?
You're telling me. It can be really intimidating.
Yeah, like I don't know about you, but sometimes I just want to curl up in a ball and pretend it's not happening.
I hear you.
Yeah.
But that's where this whole learn, unlearn, and relearn thing comes in.
Yeah, that was another thing that really jumped out at me from your notes. So break it down for me. What does that even mean in real life?
Okay, so let's say you're like the Excel wizard. You can build any spreadsheet, no problem.
I wish.
But now everyone's moving to these fancy data visualization tools.
Yeah, I've seen those.
So adapting means you got to unlearn that old Excel reliance. It's tough, but you got to relearn a whole new approach with these new tools.
Oh, wow. That's like starting from scratch almost. That's kind of, yeah. But it's about recognizing when your old ways just aren't cutting it anymore. And then, being brave enough to try something new.
Makes sense. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But, and I'm sure you say this all the time, there must be some, like, roadblocks, right? Like, what stops people from adapting?
Oh, so many things. But I think fear is probably the biggest one.
Fear, okay.
Fear of the unknown, fear of messing up, even fear of actually succeeding, believe it or not.
Wow, yeah. Never thought about that last one.
It happens. And then there's the comfort zone trap.
Oh, yeah, comfort zone.
We get stuck in our routines.
Yeah, right.
It feels safe and familiar, but then boom, change hits and we're not ready.
I've been there, for sure. So cozy in that comfort zone. But honestly, it can also be a little stifling.
Totally.
Okay, but how do we get past that? Like, how do we actually start liking change, even embracing it?
It's a process for sure, but one thing that helps is getting curious. Like instead of seeing change as a threat, what if we saw it as a chance to, I don't know, learn something new, grow a little?
Ooh, like a challenge instead of a problem.
Exactly. And be willing to experiment, step outside that comfort zone, maybe even fail a few times. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because failure, it's just feedback, really. It helps you figure out what works and what doesn't.
I love that. It's like that saying, what is it? Every master was once a disaster. Something like that.
That's a good one.
Okay, so any other, like, practical tips for becoming, more adaptable, more like a chameleon?
Ooh, becoming a chameleon. I like that. Let me think. Okay, one thing is to always be looking for different perspectives. Like, don't just hang out with people who think exactly like you do.
Get out of the echo chamber.
Yes. Read different things, talk to people who challenge your ideas. It'll help you be more open-minded, and that's a big part of adaptability.
Okay, so this isn't just about, like, keeping up with the times, right? It's more than that.
Right.
It's almost like it's like a superpowered form of evolution. You're not just reacting, you're anticipating the next big thing.
Exactly. And that brings us to a really interesting question for everyone listening.
Ooh, lay it on us.
Think about your own life for a second. What's one area where you could be more adaptable?
Good question.
Is there a skill you need to update, maybe a relationship that needs a little TLC, or even a way of thinking that's holding you back? What's one tiny step, just one you could take this week to start embracing change and riding that wave, instead of getting crushed?
That's a great question to end on. Lots to think about.
Definitely. Thanks for diving in with me today.
Always a pleasure.
All right, until next time.
See ya.